Throughout my career, I've been interested in representing people, performance of self in everyday life, to borrow a phrase from the sociologist Erving Goffman. This includes people who are also characters such as the stand-up comic, the teacher, and really just the self, the individual, is performed in the wider context of society and culture. I'm Sara Greenberger Rafferty. I grew up in the Chicago suburbs. I have lived in Brooklyn since 2000, and I work here in New York. I don't always think about inspiration when I'm making my work. I think about deep research and studio practice, as we would call it, and an engagement with a field over a lifelong, course of inquiry. Of my work can be quite dark, depressing, negative, cynical, critical, but I think that the form does have that attraction, and I think that that's part of the thing that I take from the stand-up comic, for example, the ability to make something attractive when you might be talking about something very serious or very with a grave consequence.
Anybody? 3 people. Okay. I'm not happy. I'm happy. There's a big difference.
So this is a piece that came together sort of half by planning and half by chance. I dropped it in my studio and it shattered into hundreds of pieces. I was sort of in shock, and as I was gathering the pieces, I just started arranging them on my studio table, and over the course of a number of weeks, I got almost all of it back together. There were a few spots that I didn't, so I married that in the kiln with a sheet of white glass in the back. The glass, shows what happened to it, but then it comes back together and it kind of heals via the heat, via the kiln. I was also thinking about, the light and the shadow that comes with the inherent glassness. It's both reflective and transparent, translucent. I always think of a photograph, sort of a stand-up, as having its back against the wall and projecting outward. So yeah, I think that my engagement with photography as an activity and also as a field is strong and is really evident in the show.